Well, after almost a week, I've been so busy with other crap I haven't gotten around to finally doing this. My thoughts on the very likely possible next main series Pokemon games, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. So the long-awaited rumors have finally come to an end after like almost a year of a main series game on the Switch. And it looks like they decided to go with the route for the first one on the Switch, being a remake of Yellow after 20 years. And also, not only that, the possibility of an alternate route of the game too. So for all of you that don't know, or are probably too young and never knew about it, Pokemon Yellow was the sister game of Generation 1 that was released back in Japan in September of 1998 and here in October of 1999. And this is pretty nostalgic since it was the first game I ever played. And the game follows the anime more, where instead of in Red and Blue, for example, picking Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, originally in that game, you would pick Eevee, but when you pick it up, Blue, your rival, swipes it from you, so you're forced to have Pikachu instead. So Let's Go Pikachu sounds like it's gonna be like an exact remake of Yellow, with Let's Go Eevee, like I mentioned, being the alternate route what if Blue doesn't swipe Eevee from you? That would be pretty interesting. So, of course, just like in Yellow, it takes place in Kanto, and thankfully, because I was really concerned, because remember in Sun and Moon, Ultra and Ultra Moon, there were no gyms. One of the video clips in the trailer, it looks like the character was walking through Pewter City, and if I'm correct, it looks like the gym is right behind the Pokemon Center, because that is where the center is in Pewter City, right behind the gym. So hopefully gyms will be there, but we haven't seen any confirmation yet, nor did I see anywhere else in the trailer showing the gyms. And speaking of the trailer, I've watched it a couple times already, and I actually re-watched it again to make sure I covered everything I wanted to cover. So let's get into it, as I'll post screenshots too. And remember, Nintendo, this is fair use. You may not like that, but it's legally fair use, so go fuck off if you block this. By the way, before we begin, here's the picture I was just talking about, which looks pretty similar to Pewter City. As you see, looks like the gym right behind the center. So hopefully that'll be the case, because if they did a remake and they did not have the gyms, what the fuck, Nintendo and Game Freak? You are really, really shooting yourself in the foot there if you did that, and drastically going away from the formula that made Pokemon great. The first major thing I saw, which was a bit of a concern, is here. As you see, it appears they changed the format for catching Pokemon to be like it is on Pokemon Go, where you have to flick the Joy-Cons and try and land it in the center of the Pokemon to catch it, instead of, just going into the bag, throw a Pokeball, and hope you get the 255 catch rate you needed. Of all the things, this is a gigantic concern for me, for multiple different reasons. First off, as I rewatched the trailer, I paused around here. As you look at the menu right there, when you encounter a wild Pokemon, it shows basically the exact same things you would normally see when you battle a wild Pokemon, like battle, items, run, or Pokemon such. But as you see right here, it says get ready, items, help, or run away, with really only two of the same options being there. So, like, where's the option to switch Pokemon? Or more importantly, battle? And what I'm reading right now on Bulbapedia, and of course, I don't know where they got necessarily this all information from, so who knows, it could be full of crap, but according to this, it says, the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con can be used to catch Pokemon by flicking one's wrist in a throw-in motion, similar to the method on Pokemon Go. Wild Pokemon cannot be battled in a traditional sense. So, what the fuck? What does that mean? Does that mean wild Pokemon can only be caught and not battled? And if that's the case, how the hell are you going to get experience from battling trainers? But remember, most games, you can't rebattle the trainers once you battle them. So unless you're allowed to battle the trainers infinite, how are you going to train when you get new Pokemon such? And oh dear God, don't tell me it's going to be, you gotta catch shit tons of Pokemon in order to get experience now, since that's the case for starting Gen 6, where you gain experience from catching Pokemon too. Oh my god, please tell me that's not going to be the case. Because if you do this, Nintendo and Game Freak, you are changing a core feature for Pokemon, and you're going to hurt yourself in the end. If you continue to make Pokemon kind of like Pokemon Go, that's not going to help the series. It's actually going to hurt it. So, what Bulbapedia said better be wrong, and it better be the case that, yeah, of course you can battle Pokemon the normal way. Don't be an idiot. Especially since we still don't know how you're going to gain experience. And another thing I'm concerned about, this wouldn't affect me, but how the hell are you going to have it that they have to flick the Joy-Con in order to throw it? First off, I've played Go before. Oh god, that fucking thing sucked. That fucking thing on the phone never ever registered to hit correctly. Even though I would flick my thumb across the screen straight on ahead, it would always go to the side. Gee, I wouldn't be surprised if it was done on purpose to waste Pokeballs so you can buy more of them. How are you going to make this work for, say, someone who can't do that? Like my mother, for example. She would never play Pokemon, but if she would, she has severe arthritis and has a fractured wrist. If she ever played Pokemon, she could do it the traditional way by holding the system and maybe using styles and such, but there is no way in hell she's going to be able to flick with her wrist the Joy-Con to make the throw. So, you are going to limit a lot more people probably if you do it this way too. So, that is my biggest concern of the game. It better be that, yes, you can battle wild Pokemon the usual way. And if not, yes, you can battle the trainers over and over and over again to get experience that way. And also, yes, there should be an option for you can catch traditional way and not have to do some bullshit flicking of a Joy-Con in order to make the catch. And also think of it too if you're on the road, because I'll be playing, if I got this game, I'm going to be playing on the road like all the time, just like I do my 3DS or on the phone and such. How are you going to make that catch like flick with the wrist like if you're out walking somewhere and make sure you don't hit anyone? See, Nintendo, you have to think about this shit before you do it. So no, bad idea if it's the only option. And I hope that it's not the only option. Alright, that's it for my concerns. Now to talk about the game itself more, the features. This one new feature they added is they added a local multiplayer so someone can join in, I guess, from their games too. And also, when you do this multiplayer thing, it makes battles double battles, as you can see right here. Although it looks like it makes it 2-on-1, which that doesn't seem really fair unless that's only part of a battle and was double battle from the first. Now, this feature is awesome, but unfortunately for me, I won't be able to use and abuse this for myself since I'm most likely only going to have one Switch unless there's some other way you can do it. Cause, oh my god, one of the games I would play is myself, the other one I would do is a roleplay, and that would be fun as hell if I could have both of them playing together. That would have been awesome fun. Although I most likely will only get one Switch, and if you need another Switch to play, then I'm gonna be fucked, and no, I'm not going to look for anyone else to do multiplayer with. And all the people that I would love to do multiplayer with, they're out of state and out of the area, so I couldn't do that. Same goes for making battles into double battles, but if it's like a SOS battle where it's 2-on-1, then no, that's unfair. And maybe the trainer should be, set so their teams could be set up for double battles, possibly too, if this option exists. Because if it's 2-on-1, then no, I definitely will not do that during battle, because that, I think, is completely unfair. But I also have a little bit of a concern about this multiplayer, as if you've watched numerous times in the trailer, when you catch a Pokemon, it looks like you can team up to try and catch it. You see right here, throw 2 Pokeballs, they turn into 1, and you catch it? So, what does that mean? 2 gets it then, if that's the case, so I need more info on that, because that seems kind of weird how that would work. So, Nintendo or Game Freak, if you're watching, you really need to explain that better. Next, they decided to do a product replacement and remind me of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, where you can use a Go Plus equivalent for the game and catch a Pokemon in the game and transfer it onto this device like the Pokewalker for Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and you can take it with you. Now, Nintendo, I'm going to say one thing and one thing only. Unless it's bundled, fuck you. I'm never going to use that, and I have no interest in it otherwise. So you showing it to me made me no more interested in getting it. Sorry. So if you want me to get it, it better be bundled like the Pokewalker, which I highly doubt it will be. Also, what's the benefit? Like in Pokewalker, you can get items, they could level up, you can catch Pokemon on there. So if that's not on there, then what the fuck? What's the point of using that? Next, they showed that you could catch a Pokemon on Pokemon Go and transfer it over to the game and vice versa. Now, that would be very interesting, especially, say, in the first gym against Brock, and of course Misty too, although I probably have a grass type by then. I would love if that's the case for me to go on Go again, maybe catch a Bellsprout or Oddish nearby my house, and transfer it over to game so battling Brock, if gym leaders are there, make it significantly easier. But, of course, I'm concerned about a couple things. One, how much do you want to bet it's gonna be just like the time travel feature on Gold, Silver, and Crystal? Oh, you can transfer trade Pokemon over from Gen 1, but you gotta wait till halfway through the game in order to do that. So yeah, Nintendo Game Freak, if you do this, you better make it right off the bat, or fuck you. Also, how is this going to work, per se? Because I know for a fact that, we're now gonna have to pay soon for internet service on the Switch. And of course, this requires internet most likely to do so. So, if you're requiring us to pay in order to do that, then fuck you too. I'm never gonna touch that with a 10-foot pole. But hey, if you do it exactly correct, maybe I'll go back to playing Go again, even though it sucks. So, Nintendo or Game Freak, do the right thing and do this exactly the way I'm saying it, and it would work perfectly. And it looks like they're bringing back walking Pokemon after almost a decade. I honestly thought they were never going to do that again once they went over to models, because sprites are one thing back when it was like Gen 4, but now it's double the Pokemon almost, and the models are significantly bigger in terms of like file sizes, so I didn't think they were going to be able to do it, but maybe they've managed to do it on the Switch, so if that's the case, oh boy, hope it comes back. That would be awesome. And if you notice throughout the trailer, when you have Pikachu or Eevee on you, it is on your shoulder or your head, which, of course, Eevee on your head, that doesn't make sense. I'm sure it weighs like 20 pounds or something like that. That would be nice if it has the feature to do that, too. Have the Pokemon situated wherever you want to, that's possible. I would love to have something that could be on my shoulder, too. That would be really cool. But not just Pikachu and Eevee. Another new feature is you can now dress your Pokemon, I guess. Now, of course, it's only showed Eevee and Pikachu, so it might be starter exclusive, who knows, but I can't really see myself probably using that, especially if the options are extremely restricted and or you can only do it to the stars, because otherwise, screw that. If I'm going to dress any of my Pokemon, which I probably wouldn't, I better be able to have a shit ton of options, allow to swap the items and stuff, and it better be everyone, not just the starters. And finally, the trailer showed that, I guess when you do the game and Pokemon Go functionality, you will get a special Pokemon. Of course, who knows exactly what that is. I highly doubt it's anything new unless it's a Pokemon that's in the game that we just don't know about. Although, people have hacked into Sun and Moon before when the demo came out, so I'm sure they would have known by then if there's anything new. But, of course, don't know about that. Or it could be a Pokemon that we already know that just has something special about it. Now, I'm not a collector, of course, so I don't give a fuck about this. And, of course, since it involves Go, that'll make me even less likely to be interested in it. So, I'd pass on this, at least for me. So, yeah, with that, though, that's it for all the shit we saw in the trailer. So, looks like we're finally getting a main series Pokemon game on the Switch. Now, of course, would I be getting it? I don't know. I don't want to make a say yet because I need to know about that wild Pokemon feature. Them showing that gave me a gigantic concern, and I'm not going to be calmed until they give me an answer. And of course, they got slightly over 5 months, almost 6 months still, so hopefully they'll give a precise answer to that, because that could be a major factor of whether or not I would actually play them. But more important answer is, even if my concerns are resolved, it might be a long time before I could even play it anyways, like it was for Generation 6 when it came to the 3DS, because I would be quite financially strapped, because not only am I getting 2 games, I gotta get the goddamn system too. Now, there have been rumors so far for like the last 6 months that Rich over at Reviewed Tech USA has covered that Nintendo might be working on a new version of the Switch that has better storage, and if they do that, it's very possible that they would give a price cut to the current Switch right now. If hopefully that'll be the case, because that would help me out a lot, because I would get the old one. I don't need the extra storage. I would probably be doing Pokemon and such, and I wouldn't be downloading any games either, so I'm pretty sure I'd be fine in terms of storage. But right now, the Switch currently is going for $299, plus getting both games, which I found out they're not going for the handheld price for 3DS. They're going for full system price of $60. So that's $120. So for everything right now, the Switch and 2 games without taxes, it's $420. So yeah, that's a pretty big damn steep price for a poor street wigger like me. So, even if I did want the games, it could be a long time before I get around to them. Fuck, when X and Y first came out, it took me over a month before I could finally play them, because I needed to get the money together for the 3DSs too. So, yeah. Nintendo, if you want me to get the games, first off, be nice and actually do make that Switch remake of it and cut the price for the old one. That would help me out a lot. But more importantly, you have to answer my concerns. You gotta let me know how you're gonna train if you can't battle wild Pokemon and such. And other questions too. You have to answer them, or I'm not getting until they're answered. Now, you got a couple months to do them, but if you want my money, you're gonna have to answer them. And I hope you will.